The flower is one of the most incredible gifts on earth. A huge part of my work is about showing off what we already have to open up humanity's eyes. I just wanted people to be able to value what we're given. So in order to do that, I have to frame nature, put it on a pedestal. I think when I discovered flowers as my material, I realised that I needed to start right from the beginning. I knew nothing. I needed to discover everything I could possibly ever discover about the new medium that I was working in. I mean, I came from painting. Paint is a material, and if you don't look after paint, it will waste away. You get taught how to use paint in the proper way. So when I started using flowers, well, why couldn't you use flowers in the proper way? I kind of compared petals to paper. Well, we've got paper that's thousands of years old. And then I found in the Kew archives flowers from the Egyptian times. So it's not impossible to have flowers last as long as paint, but it is a challenge.
Okay, do this.
I need each flower to be valued. I need whoever's wiring to care. That's the first thing. And I need them to be getting the technique right. So the flower needs to be secure on the wire, but no stress on the flower. That's the most important thing. So the stress is on the wire, but that's all I require. Well, I think if you take the pressure away from the wirer of the technique being perfect, then there's actually a freedom within those boundaries. And so each person will have their own style, their own kind of signature. And I love the beauty of that, the beauty of the many hands that have made it. The beauty for me is not in perfection. The beauty is in everything being so different. I found my current team through a cup of tea during lockdown with a lady that ran an outdoor activity centre locally in Wales, and she had, I think, at least 15 members of staff looking for something to do. I said, actually, I do have some work and I could really do with a local team that can wire for me. I've been on my own for quite a while now, since we moved from London, so it feels exciting to start a new team here in Wales, and it's working really well. I think very early on with art, I felt like it was only for the elite, and it wasn't a communicating tool for the everyday person, and I felt like it should be. It was my language, it's my voice. And I didn't want it just to be for the elite, I wanted it to be for everyone. The process of making art, I love sharing it. I'm not the best.
Yeah.
No. And I love bringing people together. It does feel like a team sport. And that's important. It's important to give over that creativity, share it out, and give people a sense of ownership, I suppose. Making something from their own hands that is part of something bigger. Because all of the hands that make these installations, they continue on their journey for as long as that material lasts. I take it with me everywhere. When you look at the actual cost of flowers, if you were to start from scratch, it's ridiculous. The only way that I can really achieve these colossal installations is by using and reusing the work of the previous years. And so this collection of flowers that I have, which is over 1 million flowers, collected over 15 years, is so valuable in making it accessible for me to be able to create the next installation that I need to do.
How high would you like these boxes to go?
Materials are collected locally and put into these installations, and the installation gets taken down, kept, and then transported to a new institution where we make a new installation that we add, again, more local material made by local hands, and that this organic form keeps moving and going on its own journey. This installation is a combination of flowers that I've been collecting for a long time. There's probably about 250,000 elements in there. We're also going to be obviously combining what you have on the grounds here. I'd love it to be that we together make a section which has got lots of daffodils in it. It's really important for me to include whoever uses the space that we're working with, have the hands that are around the installation make it. So thank you for stepping in. So there'll be a section which has got the added local flowers and which will dry with time, that have been made with local hands, which is what I love. That will be combined with the rest of the flowers, which have been from multiple projects all over the world, made by, now it will probably be thousands of different hands from different countries. So I feel like there's a lot of symbolism within the actual material now as well. I've been taught by my parents that the most valuable thing that you can get out of life is sharing your gifts. And if you have a way of connecting people, use it. I'm always thinking, how am I going to flow into this space with my work? Does it need to soften it? Does it need to actually feel like it's part of it? Or does it need to be completely separated from it? Compton Verney is going to be really organically weaving through the space, which is quite exciting. It's a bit of a sci-fi movie in a way, like where I've taken over as some kind of growth or form that's going through and then being paused. The way that I create is with the space as my canvas and the flowers as my paint. I did try and work with man-made materials, but they got less of this natural kind of integrity. And there definitely isn't that beauty and that fragility of what the earth is providing us. It's a gift from nature. It felt like it's never been mine. So I never felt full ownership of that anyway. I was more a conductor with the flower. The many layers that I have to my artworks is due to the fact that I'm already working with an artwork. I mean, I love the fact that when someone looks at an installation, you could just concentrate on one tiny, tiny little spot and it's still incredible. And that's not me, that's nature, that's the earth. But being able to give it a pedestal, that's what's incredible. But it is a challenge to change the way we think about the flower as a material. There wasn't one patron at the beginning that could see any value in an artwork with a dried flower. So I felt like I was completely on my own, and it took a very long time for any client to look at the flowers in any other way other than dead. Quite often, the second that someone knows that you're working with flowers, they put you in the design category. They can't see your deeper concepts, and they can only see flowers in relation to extravagant parties or weddings or celebrations. And I've got massive respect for the floristry industry, being an industry which is about celebration of life, and I think there's a place for that. But I take my artwork seriously, and it's taken a long time for people to start to understand flowers as an art material, rather than being surface and it's just about beauty. It's not. It's about experiencing nature and appreciating nature and valuing nature. There's always a story behind each installation, and there's always something that I'm wanting to tell. It's not just about, oh wow, let's experience this beautiful thing. For me, there's so much more to it. So the supporting work, the paintings, the sculptures, all of the smaller pieces are now, for me, very important. They have to marry with the installations, because I've wanted people to see how I get there. The installation at Compton Verney is about the seasons as a whole, looking at a whole year. It's about looking at time, looking at movement. I felt like there's this real need to look at cycles of life. So I started making these weaves that were snapshots of the seasons changing. Alongside it, I'll have this supporting work on each day of that year. I decided to start a nature diary where I looked at the micro of life and took each day and observed nature as I saw it. It's been an amazing discipline, actually. The more I do it, I feel more connected with the earth, and I'm glad of this time to acknowledge where I live and what surrounds me. There's times that I felt really insecure about putting anything down at all, and who am I to say anything, you know. But there's been a lot of social issues this year that I've really felt strongly about, and that's come through my diary, whether I liked it or not. My installations now have become places to mourn and grieve, and they have a memorial-like sense to them because of what we're going through at the moment. But also space for people to process. It needs to be clear that the artworks are not there to forget, they're there to remember. The things I've learnt this year make me really anxious about just slotting back into the way that we were living before. When you really feel like we're slowly losing this world, we're slowly losing our grip on the earth. I don't want to live like we were before. That's what's really got to me recently. I just feel like we've lost it. We've lost the plot. And actually we need to simplify things again. We need to look at the beauty in just being. And I feel like that is pretty much what my art's about. Bringing people into a space where they can be with nature. Even if it's just for a second to go, oh my goodness, this is what the world provides. This is what we live in. And I think if that is your focus, then the grounding is really healthy. I think it stops you from being cruel or afraid.